Jeff, is the red is on or not?
It's on.
Are we live now?
We're just coming up. We don't have anybody here yet. Give it just a second, and it'll start coming up.
Oh, it's 1 o'clock now.
I feel a lot higher up because of all the lit.
Oh yeah, they
It's like I feel a lot higher up.
they built this. Oh yeah, Good afternoon. I forgot. I think we were talking to Jeff earlier. We don't know what episode this one, but I know it's over 100 already. My name is Fang. I'm with Orchid in the street, and we have a special guest today. Brian, come here. Brian Huang, I remember him. Brian is the one that helped me with the episode 1 that we started with just his iPhone and we go live about 2 years ago. Okay, good. And Brian, we're also going to tape in a special video for member benefit for Fail Fanatic, which Jeff said will be, we're gonna have, Jeff Young will be announced it. We're going to have it doing it in September, right, for a membership benefit. So it will be a nice get together. If you're not a member yet for Fail Fanatic, join. I think Jeff will give you the link later. Jeff, can you announce about what we accomplished?
We're going to do an email here shortly.
Okay, good. Jeff has some great news about this their scholarship endowment. Okay, so Jeff is the president of Fail Fanatic. So if you're not a member yet, join. We have some really nice social event, maybe some happy hour that we had before coming up.
And you can go to failfanatics.org.
Yeah, failfanatic.org. Okay, all right. And so Brian, thank you for coming. And Brian just helped me set up the. We haven't do the show and tell for a long time. So today's topic, all right, thank you, Brian. Today's topic is here. Paphiopedilum leucochilum. There is some, I think the correct name now is actually leucochilum now. In the old days, they used to call it Gulfoliae variety leucochilum. But now I think they all got changed again. But leucochilum is a species by themselves. The difference is most of the leucochilum, they all have white pouch, right? You see the this pouch here? That's how you can tell if it's a true leucochilum. But there's lots of this natural hybrid between Gulfoliae and leucochilum. So having a white pouch is not really a guide for a true leucochilum anymore, because a lot of this, what you see today on this leucochilum, this happened to a very, very good strand, amazing leucochilum that we receive from my good friend Bear Orchid in Taiwan. And when I don't always breed Paphiopedilum, and I do a lot of fail species, but when it comes to Paphiopedilum, especially the Brachypedium type, you really have to go to Asia. And Bear Orchid, Mr. Bear, yeah, that's his last name, Bear. He is the past president of the Taiwan Paphiopedilum Society, and I think he has some of the best Paph species collection in Asia, if not the world. Every time I go to visit Taiwan, I always try to visit him, and it's amazing. When I go to have product represent in my nursery, it have my endorsement, and they have to have criteria that I believe will be good standard, as I do here myself. A lot of this Paphiopedilum, he go outdoor in central Thailand, Taiwan. So it's some of the growing area even have open shade. I mean, they get rain. So this is a very similar philosophy of that what I'm doing here. We don't like to use a lot of pesticide or fungicide. You know, I don't like to use fungicide. But whatever, if the plant can survive and being grown outdoor in just a shade crop, and he didn't even spray that much because he didn't need to, because it had natural and open air, and the plant out of that collection is always cleaner, healthier, because it's natural selection. If they're not make it, you just throw away. You know, they're not. It's a natural. It's nice natural selection. So we have a very similar philosophy of growing orchid. So and because what his ability to grow thousands of them. So this is what you see here. Is enough. If I don't, many of you will be interested to see what number. Okay, this is the number. This is the number to get, and this is all from seed. And we have been flowering and offering some of this the last year or two, and for first of the flower, I was just amazed, and I write him up. I said, you know, I want everything that you have on this cross. I bought them all, and I did. You know, Jamie, our CFO, Jamie, wasn't too happy because this Paphiopedilum at my nursery is like a hobby, because it's not like other orchid phalaenopsis or other plants. You can still allow, you know, your regular people who just want decoration, they usually overlook this, and especially they're very slow grower to begin with. So when you grow in any of the brachypedium type Paphiopedilum, okay, you need to have at least 6 inches to reach blooming size, and a plant like this will take up to 4 years in subtropical Taiwan. Okay, so you can add 2 more years if we are growing here in the North America. So if never buy what I call eyelash size like this, the chances are the brachypedium type. Hopefully after my talk, I will help you understand how to grow this. I feel that I'm actually confident enough to give a lecture on how to grow leucochilum. But when this type of orchid, just not very forgiving when they are small size. Okay, now
once they reach this size, a lot of people are saying they have problems growing paths and stuff. Once they reach this size, these are pretty easy to grow.
Yes,
though, right?
It's reaching the maturity. Okay, think about that cattleya. Okay, some cattleya. One time I got I have a customer email support to Karen, and then every time we ask, they have problem. How come my cattleya never flower? Okay, then Karen said, can you send a photograph? Without photograph, you know, this could be, this cattleya alliance is a big alliance. It could be anything under the sun. Okay, there's a mini cat, standard cat, and the picture came in. Yes, she doesn't have a label. She picked it up from the one of the show is, and it was one of the South America cattleya. What's the worst guy? Big gigantic forehead. It was this small, in 2-inch pot, and I think she got it from one of those eBay or somewhere. And the vendor told her it's a blooming size, and she was upset when she later on learned from Karen that no, it's not blooming size, because from that side to what's the worst guy to blooming side, she grew under light. She lived in Seattle. That gonna take her at least 4 to 6 years to reach maturity and then flower. She said she was very upset because that can be, she's 85. Okay, so this is why. Always ask question because buy from a good source. And we will never tell people that, no, this is was the worst year in 2.5 inch pot, less than 6 inch leaf span, 6 inch tall is a blooming side. That is just not right. Paphiopedilum leucochilum. A lot of you grow this, or any type of orchid that you never grew before. Always try a couple of them. And this is the group of orchid that very similar to your Maldive type. They all from a very similar. Maldive is a colossum, and Lawrenceana. It's also the species coming from Southeast Asia, so you know they like it warm. Okay, if you are South Florida, I know Donald Richard. Donald said, "Oh my God, they're really hot and steamy, and outdoor. This type, they love it." The only thing about growing this outdoor, and many of you in New Jersey, for example, many of you in Northeast, grow the orchid outdoor, put it outside, it's naturally humid and warm day and warm night, they love it. So the only thing when I grow this type is do not expose them to open rain. Because genetically, the leaf, the way the leaf grow like this, they like to collect water in the center. Okay, I'm gonna make it easy. I'm not gonna tell you 10 minutes on the geography, the history, but I wanna make it simple, get to the point. They're from this species, they're from Thailand, and they grow on a lot of times, they're not inside the decomposed leaf like colossum or Lawrenceana, the Maldive type. Okay, the Maldive type have a grassy leaf. This type, if you feel it, it have leathery leaf structure, very different than the Maldive type. So they actually grow on most of the time on the slope, on top of limestone. So that tell you they like not the acid potting media. So you will never grow this in the moss, because any moss, and a lot of sphagnum moss have pH of 4.0 or 4.1, but you never say never, because I have grown this in the moss before when they're out of flask. But that is for professional, or if you really know what you're doing. But generally, when to get to this size, you never grow them in moss. They all, unless we can get away with moss, because our pH here, just a tap water, is 8.5, and they love it. And so even the moss is acid. The 8.5 water coming to the moss, it become 5 to 5.7 or 6, become still on the organized side. So you know where they come from. So if you have orchid and you're growing condition, that this time of the year is their growth season. So orchid have this life cycle. This is what we call this. Right about after Mother's Day is when they're active vegetative stage. So the vegetative stage is going to take about 2 months. So a lot of Paphiopedilum, any Paphiopedilum before the flower, is really test your patient, and I think Sunny will second that. It's really taking you patient. And what I personally like about this, before I found out a good source that I can hybridize it, I can work with from Taiwan, is they're very slow grower. Again, and when they are under, if you want to buy this, never buy them below 4-inch pot, 4-inch leaf span, and that's about good 3 years. Okay, anything under that, they are very subject to bacterial rotting or crop rot here, especially in the winter time. What happens with this is they do not mind the heat and moisture. They love water, and providing that you give them a lot of drainage. What I've been doing myself, and I can share this with you, I have been, because I visit a lot of nursery when I go to Asia and Japan too, and I will share some of this. I noticed that, especially Japanese. Jeff, can you look at the top here? This is a special sponge rock. They imported from Turkey, and and I said, wow, well, Turkey, we have our kind of sponge rocks here in Arizona too, but actually it's kind of different. I think they have a lot of micronutrient. It's really beneficial. So this is the mix that we have. You can buy it from online. Our what I call fine mix. Later on, I will sell some of this in a smaller package. Okay. What happened is down below this white line is our regular fine seeding mix. Then, because of any orchid fertilizer, it's always going to be on the excess side. So we put some of this rock here. The nice thing about this Turkey, the import from the country Turkey, is you put this in the water. It's really light and it's very porous, but they also do not collect salt like lava rock. Like for example, the lava rock from Hawaii, just a different surface structure. And you put this in the water, even after they soak a lot of water, they're not going to sink into the bottom of the water, the beaker. They actually flow, even when they are soaking wet. So you know they have a lot of pore space. So I put this on top of this. Now, I know we have customers here in the audience all across from the United States. I am in Southern California, so my water here, in the summertime, especially summertime, we had to import a lot of water from Colorado. So by the time they get to here, they're very high salt. Our EC, before just the tap water, is 0.8. So in East salinity, you do not have anything more than 1.0. That's when you're going to start getting tip burn on the root. And by you notice we don't have a lot of this. We do a lot of, so when you water this, make sure, and we do not use our water because I don't believe in our water. Because if I use our water, then because to produce 1 gallon of our water, it takes 7 gallons. And it's very, very wasteful process. And pure our water also not good for the plant because it filters out everything. Even good fungi or bad fungi. So the plant become really, really, almost like if you think about your baby always been raised in the incubator room. Pest-free, no fungi. When the plant is the orchid, the baby is not going to be very healthy. They don't. So I do tap water, and if you pH, that's why I think some of the episodes that I do mention before, you know the water pH of your area. If you have a groundwater, do some test sample to see how much salt they have here. So I'm trying to be generalized and also give you what you should look for in your particular area. Generally speaking, if you're in Orange County, if you're a coastal area, a lot of time your water might have a lot of salinity problem because the salt water might be coming to your underground water system. So always when you water, especially this time of year, double water. When I say double water, we do that on Phalaenopsis too, on every other orchid. Water twice. When you water, everything on this type of orchid, we always water by hand because that way we can. I do not like overhead water because when they're in flower, the overhead water is going to go inside the pouch, and unless you manually dump the water, the pouch tilted, and the water, they're gonna have the pouch gonna have water and it become rotted, and then the flower will fade right away. So what I do is water once, if I have one bench, put the bench, and then come back again. So the first watering is to loosen up the media. Then the second watering is to what we call is really flush out any of the salt, because their root system on the Paphiopedilum is very different than, let's say, Cattleya or Phalaenopsis. All the Paphiopedilum have root hair. The root hair, if it dry out or get damaged, it's very difficult to get them recovered. Unless you do the mega dry. Mega dry does a wonderful job on that. So the watering this time of year, do not let them dry out at all, especially when they have a new growth coming up. This is the new growth coming up here, Jeff. You can see this. This is one of the older one. So this is why I do not like to divide them. Okay, so they also, once they have a single growth like this, sometimes they can stay in the same pot. Do not overpot them. Again, less is more. So this is from last year. So there is a crown here. So the previous, once the flower on the previous year, Jeff, you can see this here. There's a stem here from last year. So they have a new growth coming up. This is gonna flower. And the best part, because they're all from seed, they're different. Obviously this one genetically probably more vigorous, or they got well nutrient. They might be in the spot that you see Ottoman like. Not only this is coming up, from here to flower may take about 2 months. So this is what I mean, test your patience. And this finish, you get a new growth coming up. Okay, so do not divide them. Okay, this plant, for example, here can be in this size of pot for at least 2 to 3 years more. You might repot them, changing the potting media, but they still go back to the same small pot. The Paphiopedilum, less is small. Small pot is better. Over pot will tend to kill the plant. The Paphiopedilum, if you look at when you we will do a repotting just on specific on Paphiopedilum. Their root system is not like the Phalaenopsis that's so massive. Okay, they only put out root system once a year or twice a year. So the rest of the year they don't do anything like that. So the root structure is very, very different. This is why you never buy Paphiopedilum bare rooted. Okay, if you have, okay, this is true. Some people might get angry at me, but I never buy Paphiopedilum bare rooted, and then because especially if you buy bare rooted plant on the shore, make sure you open the bag and inspect the root. Make sure the root is nice and plump and moisture. Because most of the time when we do this, when we import it, Mr. Beer, they know how to process it. It takes an experience. They're coming in the path moist moss, so to make sure the root hair do not dry out. A lot of the vendors, for example, if they're down to the shore, some of the shore people at the shore, because air shipping is very expensive, so they tend to make sure everything is really dry. Okay, especially after the pandemic, the air shipping charge is about 4 times more by air versus pre-pandemic. So I seen a lot of people. We got people coming to question all the time. Even the people, even plant is not all from our nursery, but they say, okay, so they do support, and we see what happened. They do pick up. We have a customer, my customer. They thought, oh, I pick up some plant at the San Francisco show, and then this plant come bare rooted, even I think Path and Flag. and the plant die because the root is completely dry out. So once the root dry out, root hair dry out, you must well tox the plant. Okay, so that is what you should look for. Unless you want to give away your money, might as well donate the money to Phil Fanatic. Okay, so what I do is what I have learned over the year. Once the plant have mature like this, okay, and that's when I stop cut down on the water, because when the mature like this in the center, and I usually pour all the one with a flower bud like this. I put it in a separate area. The ratio almost, if I had to grow a different one, it's still in the vegetative stage. I might water them twice a week in the summertime, like right now. But this type, maybe just once a week only. Even better, like this one here, we have a wall, and I should sell this. I love this tray. I actually hang this on the wall, so that way the plant will not accidentally got water on it. So you gotta make sure it designate an area do not got over water. So that way, and also water in early enough that the crown do not dry out. If the crown dry out, you can do what we do with the Valentine way. That's okay. Put 5 cents concentrated in the crown to kill the bacterial, and then they put the 2-in-1 KK in the center, and that will encourage the new shoot to come out right away. It is a lot of the time that this time of year, we might have maybe up to 20%, sometimes might be a problem. But once you have designate a separate area, or simply put an extra pot, raise it higher. So when you water the plant, you can skip this watering. Okay, I'm going to show this from this size. This is cauliflower. Isn't it cute? The leaf structure is very, very thick. And being in Thailand, they are very heat tolerant. So this structure is very thick and leathery. So once they finish the vegetative growth, usually about 1 to 3.5, and then you should expect a spike coming up. Okay, and there's no problem. This is actually a great companion plant to grow with your novelty phalaenopsis. Okay, go to next to your Tetrapolis. Tetrapolis live from Indonesia, very wet, but they just do not like to water as much as phalaenopsis when they get to flowering stage. Okay. This is a nice one. When they first open, I usually don't like to spike them until they're open like this. Okay. And Judy just staged for me on this type. And let me take it down. Before you take it to the shore, you have to stake it. And this is what happened. This is what happened earlier when I put it on the wall. Because the flower is so heavy, they will naturally to hang down. I do not like to spike it too early. I do not like to spike it at this flower stage because they're not firm yet. I like to let it hang down like this. Then once they have a nice and fully open, then you can do the metal wire that we had before, and just make a small hook. And I still like to follow this natural stage. So this is why Paphiopedilum leucochilum is really a very fun plant to grow under light. Okay, and they are actually also leaf is very ornamental. They always have this beautiful reddish color marking on them, and leaf is very good. Okay. So, and they get better with age.
We need to coerce
Huh?
these guys. We need to coerce these guys into blooming at Valentine's Day. This is Valentine's Day plant. The
Well,
red and white.
then I had to install the nursery, that greenhouse, have LED light the entire winter time and crank out the heat. Okay, so this is another plant, perfect example. Okay, do not divide them. You see, this is from last year. This year had 2 spikes or 2 shoots. That's why do not try to divide them in a hurry. They don't grow. They are symposium. They don't grow and have a lot of shoot and grow on them. I do not have a lot of big plant because we keep selling fast enough. You know, every time I want to grow some bigger one, there's always a customer twist my arm or Jamie grab it. By the way, any of this plant will release for Jamie jumper next week. Okay. All right. So these will be available. It's beautiful. So we only sell them when they're fully open, so you can really appreciate the size. This is not actually between this stage. Look at this size. I'm going to see this. There's 3 stages, starting from this pea-sized stage to this stage, coming up to this stage, to this stage, and to this stage. So this is the life cycle. And to this stage. See here? And this is really fun. You can watch them grow. So from the picking, the low bud, and all these stages, you don't prefer not to spike it. Just raise them up or put it on the wall to hang them up. So in my greenhouse on the wall, I have the wall is actually the temperature heat rises. So on the higher wall, not only they are warmer and drier, they are actually, because they are warmer, they are actually good for the development of the flower. The flower get bigger versus down south, down on the bench level, they'll be shadier. So, so I really perfected the growing technique this year. And that's what I'm sharing with you. So if you're going on the light, this is a big subject. And Sunny, if you like, Sunny have the heat map, for example. Sunny, if you want to get this to flower for Valentine's Day, yeah, put this on the heat map. Because one thing about this, in the winter time, they do not like to have temperature below 60 degrees at night. And if you have temperature below 60 degrees at night, and that usually is when they have problem with rotting, just with the bacteria. There's a bacteria associated with cooler night temperature. So, and then a lot of growers forgot to hold back the water. Remember, you grow them, you water them when they need it at that particular stage. Once they get to in the winter time, short day, long night, the plant going to almost a semi-resting period because we might only have about 6 hours of light. So even the plant in the wild, they're going to slow down. They're not going to vegetate the stage, and they're going to take their winter break. Okay, so that is when you have to hold back, not water. You only water and voila. When you see the new shoot coming out in the springtime, usually it's happen in the late spring, and this only happen once a year only. But from here to this stage, will take you at least 2 months. So you actually give you a lot of pressure to watch them in 2-month period. It's really fun, and then let it open, and then once they're fully open, okay, also. Or maybe only water once a week, the max. Okay, but I still feed it. Foliage feeding with fertilizer, microflight, with on the foliage only. Okay. And I really use more of this year, we make it dry. Because what happened when they are this stage in the past, I was afraid to use mega dry on the foliage, on the leaf. You don't want to plant get rotted. But this year with the mega dry, that's why this coming different. When they are like this stage, I also make sure I spray the flower bud, and I see the size improve with mega dry, because it's not like we force them to do, it's just that they are up to night. Okay, because a lot of time thinking about this leaf on the flower structure, they probably can, we still don't fully understand what the flower structure does, but I believe the flower structure on this, a lot of Paphiopedilum can also do some photosynthesis or to absorb nutrient and the enzyme from mega dry. So when they're really happy, they will optimize it. We've seen the size of the flower increase. This is like, how cute. Okay. So repotting, you only repotting in the springtime. So once the flower finish, okay, will be in the fall already. So in the fall, the plant is going to lay almost semi-dormant stage. All you have to do is just clean up the older leaf at the base. Okay. And if you are new with me on the podcast, I do not like to cut off the spike on the bottom leaf. I generally let the older leaf do their own course, so they will detach themselves versus you trying to pull them and create a wound and then expose the cell possible or pathogen into the crop. Okay, so bottom, some older leaf, sometimes in moving, they're going to have some bend or structure, and that's okay. You can see they are healed. Okay. Okay, they heal already. So it does that give the plant character. You're gonna see this kind of marking when they in their native habitat in the wild too. So don't expect orchid. Even you in your own collection, everything has to be there. Apple in the grocery store, polished, waxed, and perfectly spotless. That is not how plant grow in the wild. Okay. So this is actually, so this is the point. Just make sure you get the blooming size, mature size. Never get plant under 4-inch leaf span. Anything other smaller than that, I make a mistake myself. Okay, might be cheaper to get, but you're gonna lose a plant. And then once the plant are more mature, like any other orchid that we mentioned previous podcast,